Hi everyone. I promised some of you that I would send out sort of a model for this upcoming presentation assignment next week for your social media show and tell presentations, and I thought maybe I would just record a really quick video for you. It occurred to me that this might be something you want to do as well, that if you're feeling shy and you don't like the live setting of presenting in front of the class, you can also just record your presentation 3 to 5 minutes beforehand, upload it to the Google Drive or email to me if needed, and then we can just watch that in class. So I'm choosing to share with you just one of my latest tweets on my Twitter page. So if I were giving this presentation in class, I could talk about, even just as an introductory thing, like what my cover photo here means. It's a image from a medieval manuscript that I've studied in the past as part of my PhD. It's actually an illustration of the book of Revelation from the Bible. So it has an angel pouring. It's kind of like a representation of the apocalypse. And I think some of what we're seeing in the world right now is a little bit apocalyptic. So that's why I chose it. And I tweet about issues in the world as well. So not too much personal stuff on my Twitter because it's public, and I use it to connect with other academic audiences as well as activists. And so you can see from my profile picture, this is me at a protest, and it was a protest in support of the K-12 union in New York City, specifically MORE, who's a group fighting for a better union and safer schools and better funding for schools. So that was a protest that I attended a couple years ago during the pandemic, which is why I'm wearing a mask. So I have my little bio here. I'm assistant professor of English literature at BMCC CUNY, and I also work on medieval dream interpretation and labor struggle. But this is the actual object I would present to the class, and I've pinned it to my profile, so it's something that's significant to me, and that happened quite recently, August 27th of this year. I say it's been a minute since I felt so inspired, and then I have two of those heart emojis that represent how blissful and loved and excited and inspired I was feeling at the time when I posted it. Spent the afternoon with public sector comrades and then I've tagged some of the groups who were involved in this event I was at, MORE, DC 37 Progressives, and our union, the PSC, NYSNA, which is the nurses union, and then I say the boss, and sometimes even our own unions, wants to divide us, but we can build more democratic workplaces together. So when I'm not teaching, one of my other jobs is I am a union activist. I'm a delegate for the PSC CUNY faculty union. And I spend a lot of time talking to other union activists, not only within our own union at CUNY, but around the city. And together we are all trying to have more conversations that help us build power and counter some of the policies that the city administration and the state administration implement that take a lot of money and funding away from the public sector and from public education in this city. So I'm really passionate about that. I'm passionate about fighting for public education, and not only for education, but also in terms of like public nursing at hospitals that are more freely available to low-income families. And there were also, like, just the K-12 teachers were really involved in this event that I'm referring to in this tweet. So you can see all of us here who I helped organize this event. It was held at what's called the People's Church in Harlem. It's a active church, and it has some fun revolutionary history because the Young Lords occupied it in the 1960s for about 10 days. So you can look up, or if I were giving this presentation, I would probably present a little more information about who the Young Lords were, but I'm just doing this a little off the cuff, so I'm going to leave that. And, you know, there were about 30 of us there, and we all learned more about our shared industries and how we can fight for each other. We have contracts that are expiring for many of us city workers this year, and we want to make sure that the new contract that is negotiated by our union is as strong as it can be and helps implement more progressive policies. So that's why I posted this. I think it's this picture both demonstrates the diversity of this group, and I think really encapsulates a lot of the passion that was harnessed by this meeting, and it was a great event. So I just thought it was, you know, a special enough occasion that I would pin it to my profile, and so that I can kind of capture whenever I scroll through my Twitter, and if I'm feeling hopeless, that's right up top. In terms of the audience for this tweet, so I've talked about Medium, which is Twitter. I posted on Twitter because I tend to connect with other activists on Twitter, and it's public, so I don't put a whole lot of private information on my Twitter feed. It's the more of activist academic communities, and I think it would be, I could post it on other platforms, but I think that this was the most appropriate just based on the communities that I've already built up, and my purpose is to spread the word about union organizing and what's going on right now. And I was quite pleased with the response. I mean, it didn't get it got like 8 retweets and 34 likes, you know, from some good, like including the organizations who I tagged in this photo. So, you know, it's not like it went viral or anything, but I was still happy with the people who interacted with it. And just on a personal level, I really like returning to this image. So that's it. That's my presentation. And you probably, for yours, will want to be a little more organized with your thoughts than I am, as I just kind of try to throw this together. I will be grading you on your enthusiasm, on the way you present the information, and I guess if you have been able to follow and understand the instructions properly. But this is one way, hopefully, because I think there was some confusion. The thing you choose doesn't have to, I think I said in the prompt that it needs to best represent who you are on social media. Well, that's a little intimidating, right? So maybe it doesn't need to be the best representation of who you are, but it could be a representation of who you are. Maybe just part of who you are, something you care about, something unique. Doesn't have to include it all or encapsulate everything about you. That's impossible, right? So I hope this helped, and yeah, thanks for watching.